But I would see the two witnesses, the church, capital C.
What is your view on the two witnesses in Revelation?
So this is an interesting question, and obviously there is a predominant view of what we call eschatology, and that means last things. Obviously, with you using terms reprobate, you know what I'm talking about. So there are different views. In fact, there are four interpretive options for the book of Revelation. Now, when we start looking at this, we start looking at the book of Revelation, and it's outside of the book of Proverbs. It's probably either the first or second most misinterpreted book in the entire Bible. So when I look at the book of Revelation, I am going to have to understand the entire Old Testament and the Gospels to understand the book of Revelation. And so when I look at that, so for instance, the two witnesses, what I know is that John the Revelator, he's living in a world where you cannot come out and say anything against the emperor. You'll die. You didn't have freedom of speech. So he's using metaphors, he's using symbolism, he's using a lot of illustrations, and he's using, say, for instance, Babylon. Well, certainly he can say Babylon, but we would assume that he means Rome. So when I look at the two witnesses, we're going to look at it from the perspective that they tend to be, it seems, the Old and New Testament. Now, I know that most people are going to say, and I was one of those people years ago, they're going to say, no. That is Moses and that is Elijah. Well, they're saying it because of Moses and Elijah, that what they did in their time on earth, obviously, the miracles that they were able to perform, that actually God was doing through them. But I would see the two witnesses, the church, capital C. So there's persecution in the church, of the church, all over the world right now. And we live in a culture that doesn't want to suffer. And so this, I suspect, that's why we cling to the rapture, pre-trib view, because we want to escape.
Right.
Which you don't ever see God doing that in Scripture. It is, you're a temple, I'm a temple. When we come together, we are the temple of God. They will trample on the holy city for 42 months. Now, the church is worldwide. And I will appoint my two witnesses. This is where it looks to me that it's saying the Old Testament and New Testament. And they will prophesy for 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. So if you think about in the book of Revelation, the church is going to be suffering. And the reason they're suffering is because of what they're telling the world. The world doesn't want to hear it.